every time he's given the opportunity to. He really likes this matchup, and it is a strong one for the Gwen. A lot of magic damage here on the side of Gen.G, but not a lot of options to... Please stop getting Smash's barrier. He doesn't like to use it like that.
Well, he hasn't, so he's probably okay for now. Oh, public execution towards his top side as Shiu's looking for the solo kill. Keen, couple more autos, but Keen turns it, never mind! Showmaker comes in and saves the...
Canyon is going to start this. Chovy is in the area. They're looking for a play topside. They cancel it, though.
Yeah, Keen actually has the needlework back up, and Shiu doesn't have his ultimate, and so he's just dead. Solo bolo over to Keen. Very nicely played. And now Gen.G, Chains of Corruption do go wide, but they still manage to take down that dragon. Duro now magically journeys his way out, but Lucid not going to get stunned up here, as there is the boat flying out. Tidal Wave not really going to connect, as now Showmaker in a very unfortunate position, does have to flash to get out of the way of Canyon, as now Lucid, he's looking to exit. DK looking a little bit...
I think it was the right choice, but kill pressure, but off the cards. Could try to get this crystalline overgrowth, but it's too risky. In fact, not going to get it, and also possibly going to be too risky.
It's Ambessa though.
He has
just dash and then do more dashes, as there it is. There's a knock-up on a Canyon as well, who's delivered backwards. Duro throwing down the Tempered Fate, locks up a couple. Shiu not quite able to answer too much, as out he will go. Showmaker makes his way in though, as now Canyon gets his Triumph proc and actually keeps himself alive. The flash forward from Shiu, but there's the Cosmic Binding to hold him in place. Big ol' shield thanks to that Eclipse, as now Showmaker realizing with Chovy making his way in, he is probably dead, and tells his young top laner just to save himself.
It's a really rough exchange there from Dplus. It looked so good at the outset. But because Duro is also have control of this dragon for the moment.
Yeah, Lucid is going to walk up though. Let's see who's going to be able to win the smite fight. It is just going to go over to Lucid there. Locks up the Cloud Drake as into the bubble goes the Xin Zhao. As wall is put down, Lucid in a lot of trouble. He's just dead. Does survive for quite some time and actually gets a lot of his health bar back, but still not going to be enough to save him.
This is a huge win though for Dplus. Like, it's light. As the smite timing here is, okay, hold up.
Yep, meanwhile in live, we have a very dead Chovy, or at least a very egg Chovy, until he's a dead Chovy. It's going to take a little bit of time, but there it goes, and that is a kill over to Shiu. The Ambessa
resources here, and they're playing through him as, speaking of Shiu.
Yeah, he might be in a little bit of trouble here, I might add, as Canyon does go in. He just wants to get out of the way. Yeah, dashing is something that this Ambessa can do. Tempered Fate will be able to hold him in position, and the attempted juke is actually going to work to his detriment, as gets a bunch of shields, but still snip, snip, and down he will go. Turret falls on the top side of the map, though. That is going to be first turret blood over to DK.
Yeah, I kind of feel like this doesn't really bother Dplus all that much. Showmaker is also going to try to get this first initial plate here on the inner.
Some crystalline overgrowth has started to build.
Showmaker does have his Seraphs completed and transformed, so gonna feel good about this as we're bringing everyone.
It's just gonna get flashed on. There's the ulti to try and keep them at bay. Is Duro tanking up the turret nicely, and that should mean that the Ambessa does go down. Duro able to move out of the way of the angry turret and keeps himself alive. And so now another one going to fall down in exchange for an outer on the bottom side. But Chovy is going to survive, as Realm Warp is just gonna get rid of the Rift Herald, who just crashes into a wall on the other side of the map. I'm interested in how this fight's going to go. The first Ocean Drake of the game, as it is another Ocean Soul. We've had a fair few this week. But Gen.G in position, they will start this one up, and it's going down pretty quickly, as Duro possibly stunned up here, and in fact he is, or at least snared by, flash forward from Lucid. It is Canyon that locks down the dragon, as now Lucid is in the back of the pit, having to deal with Chovy, and Canyon wants to be able to flag drag his way out, but it's not quite going to work. Yeah, just taken out by the Xin Zhao, as now Shiu finds himself alone in the backline. And it's just Lucid that goes down after attempting a steal.
But the moment in time where Gen.G have this lead feels really good for Chovy. He's going to get the transform to 15.
Yeah, he's actually, I think it's going to tick over. Yeah, there it is, right now.
It says on Showmaker's phone right now. I don't know what it means.
Oh, I wonder whether it means that Keen is going to be okay or not. As flash out of the way of Canyon, and Shiu, unfortunately, is going to be the one that dies. Get off the phone. My goodness. His career moving down towards this bottom side. And that should just be this inner turret going down, and it is. Gen.G secure that one, and it's because this could have been a soul that they would be fighting for. Is okay, there's a public execution right on top of Ruler, as Shiu, still pretty healthy, is now Keen diving on forward. They get rid of Xiu though, and Ruler is going to survive. So it's not exactly working out here for Dplus, as now Showmaker running around trying to avoid the skill shots, but he can't do any damage. The Gwen will finally go down. Showmaker lasts a lot longer than I think a lot of people expected, but that's 3 dead for 1.
That's Baron. They're just going to take the magical journey with the wave clear they have.
Yeah, the playability is low.
And like
that's absolutely true.
The follow-up for Xiu's engage just
too little and potentially too late for them to really get too much done as the Glacial Storm goes up.
I just don't think this is the kind of game you can win unless you win a huge team fight swimmingly to get enough map control back.
Yeah, well, public execution on top of Canyon here, who does have the Crescent Guard to keep himself alive. The Baron is going to help take down this inner turret though. And in the meantime, you've got Keen running amok and taking down this inner in mid at the same time. So Gen.G just splitting the map, making things real awkward for DK.
The roam warp for Showmaker as well. Gen.G were like, oh, are they taking that? Please do. They like all turned around when they saw it. They were like, ooh.
Wow. That's a lot of damage the Doro take.
That was big damage, but I don't think they care.
Oh, another Flash Rush coming in there as the Tidal Wave knocks up Chovy, but they just cannot get close enough.
Xiu doesn't have ult, so the Gen.G have really put the screws into these inhibitors.
And Ruler has been so frustrating. He's just always too far away.
He's getting closer to having his ultimate back, so they need to leave. 10 seconds on that one. Maybe this could be the first angle that Dplus have had in a while here to maybe get something done.
Good vision available here for Gen.G, though, to know exactly where they are. Cosmic Binding does go wide. DK still wanting to get something done here as there's the public execution on top of Canyon as Lucid dives forward as well. Great use of the Tidal Wave as the bubble is going to come through there. Chovy able to flash out of the way and Showmaker into the backline. Wants to try and kill Keen, but he's so incredibly fed on this Gwen. Chovy finishes him off in the end, and Gen.G, they're just like an impenetrable fortress.
They just played it so perfectly. They left no margin for error. Now Lucid,
I think he's on the test. That's all right. DK back out onto the map now, as teleport is very short here for the Gwen. As Xiu goes in, so does Lucid though. Great Cataclysm as Tempered Fate to hold Gen.G in position, buying time for Keen as best they can. But Chovy going to go down as the Ambassador dancing around the fight. Canyon so close to dead, but Korea can't do anything about it. And he's going to get taken out. Into the backline goes the Jarvan, but why is Canyon still alive?
He's super, super low, but does survive.
Look at Canyon's health bar.
Yeah, and he may be sundering the sky a little bit on those final hits.
And Gen.G are just going to take Baron by the night this game.
You think it would take 2 or 3 autos from Keen to kill that turret with Crystalina for
Well, there's a public execution as Xiu dives in. They're looking to time it here as Canyon in a good spot right now.
Showmaker?
Chovy trying to dance his way out of there, but Showmaker gets a big old shield and it's just not enough. Both of them lying on the floor as now Keen taking matters into his own hands. Smash still trying to do the damage back as Keen will look a little bit low. But yeah, in trade for Lucid and Showmaker's lives, I don't think this is going to work because the teleport back in from Chovy is just going to net the end of the inhibitor turret in mid lane. And in very quick succession, most of these structures are going to be disintegrating right before your eyes. And Gen.G, I feel like this entire game was just about preventing DK from being able to play. As Smash will finally die for the very first time this game, right before his Nexus follows suit. That is going to be the delayed ace, and it will be completed. Nexus dies as well, and Gen.G